Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and this video is going to show the top 10 fastest cars in GTA Online in terms of lap time. As always, the position counter is in the top left with the best lap time the vehicle achieved in the top right, and as is standard now, we're going to go through the top non-raceable vehicles first. This video only focuses on track performance, so if you're interested in top speed where braking, cornering and acceleration aren't relevant, check the link in the description for the top speed testing series, and if you want to know more information about this testing, including the extent to which it's accurate and how useful it is for you personally, have a read of the full description as everything that you need is in there. This video lists all vehicles and is correct as of the Cayo Perico heist update. For any vehicles added after that or other classes of cars, check the playlist linked in the second line of the description, and feel free to check out my Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want to support this work and get testing results of any new cars a little bit early. So we start the top 10 list of regular raceable cars with a sports class car in the Italy GTO, which actually gets exactly the same lap time as the RE7B, but since it has a higher top speed, it gets the 10th place spot over the RE7B. Now, just below 10th place is a collection of the top sports cars of the Neo, Italia RSX and Pariah, mixed up with a number of the top 15 supercars like the Zentorno, Tempesta, Devest 8, things like that. Feel free to check the playlist for the super and sport cars videos for lap time for a full rundown of all of those vehicles if you're curious where everything else is if it's not shown in this video. Now, the middle portion of the top 10 list is basically the top 5 supercars, with the Thrax, S80RR and Wagner all being really close to each other in terms of lap time, and consequently being in 9th, 8th and 7th places overall respectively. Now obviously the Wagner used to be the new number one for supercars, it was for a long time the leader, but that's not the case anymore because we do have the new top 2 which do extend their gaps over the top supercars a little bit more. They are significantly quicker when we're talking about the Krieger here in 6th place overall and the Emirates, which is just ahead of it. There's not that much difference between those two, but then those two are significantly ahead of the rest of the pack, at least when we're getting to lap times like this. So yeah, these two certainly are deserving of this 6th and 5th places, but it is the Emirates that is slightly quicker than the Krieger that manages to break into sort of the top 5 overall for fastest cars in the entire game. But I guess it should probably come as no surprise what the top 4 will be, with the addition of open wheel cars now dominating the lap times, because we're going to go take a big jump here from the Emirates with a 58.2 second lap time, which is very, very quick. Those are some insane lap times. But then we jump right to 56.7 seconds for the R88. And if you think a 58 second lap time is crazy, 56 seconds is unbelievable. Now, all of the open wheel cars that you're seeing in this video are running with their middle downforce setups. So those give the quickest lap times when I did the testing between low downforce, high downforce or middle downforce. It was all the middle downforce setups on all the cars that gave the best lap times, had a nice balance between the two. Downforce setups do work on open wheel cars in races these days. They made that change. They previously didn't, but Rockstar fixed that. By the way, the DR1 is only 1,000th of a second quicker in terms of lap time than the R88. They're very, very close. But yeah, if you want all the information about the downforce setups, the changes of the front and rear wings, what effect those have on the cars in terms of lap time, in terms of top speed, all that kind of stuff, I covered it in great detail in the original open wheel lap time testing video. So just as with to the top sports cars, supercars and any other class, all of those testing videos are all in the playlists, which is linked in the description, that you can just click on. You can see the open wheels video, it should be right there at the top. And yeah, all of the most relevant videos are at the top of those playlists for both lap time and top speed. So if you want all the information about open wheel cars, which are the best setups to use, how the setups affect it, all that kind of stuff, it's all in the original open wheels testing video that's in the playlist. And you can see the lap times for all the different setups that I tested as well. But yeah, 2nd place overall for the PR4 with a 56.4, so just a little bit quicker than what we saw from the other two open wheel cars. But then we're going to take a massive jump to the ultimate number 1 fastest car in the entire game for lap time at least is the BR8 with a 54.7 second lap time, breaking the 55-second barrier. It's the quickest car that has ever gone around this track, even quicker than the Vigilante that we saw earlier, which previously was the quickest car, but obviously a non-raceable vehicle. It's even quicker than that. You know, this thing is just so fast, and it's light years ahead of the other open wheelers as well. It's just, you'll see some comparisons as well between this and the Emirates at the end of the video, and also this and the Vigilante, which is quite an interesting comparison, as we'll see. But yeah, the one thing that I want to point out is that the top speed version of this video, which if you're watching it when it goes live will come out next week, if you're watching it later on, is in the top speed testing playlist. It's very different to this. There's only one car from this top 10 list that actually features in the top 10 for top speed 2. So certainly check that out when it comes out, because I think more so than ever, the top 10 for top speed is very different to the top 10 for lap time. Because, you know, the open wheel cars are very, very slow in terms of top speed. Well, they're okay, but they're nothing special. And we've certainly had a lot more vehicles added in recent times that have a pretty high top speed that don't necessarily corner so well. So yeah, certainly check that out, because like I said, there's only one vehicle in this list that is also in the top 10 for top speed. So as you saw from the comparison there, the number one vehicle overall, the BR8, compared to the first place in supercars, it's not even a contest. The BR8 is just so much quicker. And then we've got the comparison here as well, like I said, with the BR8, which is the fastest car overall in the entire game for lap time, versus the Vigilante, which used to be the fastest car overall for lap time and is actually still the fastest non-raceable car. But again, it's kind of weird to see the comparison, because the Vigilante only gets its lap time from the crazy boost that it has, and that's the same for pretty much most of the non-raceable vehicles. None of them are that great in the corners, especially the Vigilante, which without the boost only gets a lap time of 1 minute 6, so the boost gives it an extra 10 seconds per lap. So it's quite interesting to see how the BR8 pulls ahead in certain parts of the lap, then the Vigilante pulls it back because of the boost, and then the BR8 pulls ahead again. But ultimately the BR8 is still the quickest, and it's so much quicker than everything else. You know, it's not even close. There isn't even anything else in the game that's able to get a 55-second lap time. The thing that's closest to the BR8 is over a second per lap slower. So it's just so quick, and certainly deserving of the top spot of the number one fastest car in the entire game, as of right now at least. We'll see if anything comes out that's going to be quicker than it in the future, but it's going to be a difficult one to do. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Consider supporting on Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want testing results early, and remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed it, found it helpful, and subscribe for more. Thank you all so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.